Question 1428. Given the eerily similar nature of most rags to barbarity stories, in that good people turn evil, could you ever see yourself as a dictator?
Absolutely.
I haven't finished.
I'll do it tomorrow.
I haven't finished reading. Before you scoff,
I could
remember
see myself as the mad scientist supporting
let him
dictator.
finish.
Does that count?
Let him
I don't
finish.
know. I hadn't finished reading the question.
You left a long pause.
I know, because I'm going
Don't
to read
do
the
that.
question again.
My emotions,
Read the
Dave.
fucking
You're playing with my
question,
emotions.
Dave.
Before you scoff, remember how much evil came from the perception of doing good or changing the nation.
Okay.
Right.
Not only am I going to become a dictator, I am going to put the dick back into dictator.
He's going to put the dick back into all the other dictators.
As opposed to putting the dick in a tater?
I've got a good name for that.
I knew you were going to say that too. The point is, it's about the fact that basically that power corrupts. But all the good intentions that people that get into positions of power, they very often they become just as bad as their predecessors.
Well, you even see that in you even see that with people who get large followings on YouTube, where they some of it goes to their head and they start using it in ways they shouldn't.
Exactly.
The Power Elite by C. Wright Mills.
Yeah.
Talks all about it. Read that back in the
Okay.
70s.
I haven't.
Maybe I'm a bit of a classicist here, but I'm starting to think that I'm okay with a dictator under some circumstances. And that's a very broad statement, I'm aware. But the idea of having a hereditary dictatorship is what I have an issue with. If you want to start getting into this,
Well, technically
you
speaking,
want
a
to start
dictatorship
talking about
is
like Machiavelli and Damocles, we can start
Yes.
playing that game. But
If it becomes
essentially,
hereditary-
a well-educated ruler can rule.
it's not a dictatorship is technically the most efficient form of government. You won't
If
get
it
more
becomes-
efficient.
If
Say
it becomes hereditary, is it then a dictatorial monarchy?
I would,
Well, most monarchies are dictatorial to start off
yeah,
with.
I would say it's an absolute monarchy when it becomes heretical. I mean, North.
So
Korea,
would you say North Korea has a monarchy?
I would. Yeah, I mean, they're kind of almost referred to as the Kim Dynasty now.
Yeah.
They are, yeah.
Do they have like a parliament though? Is power not dispersed to a parliament?
It is probably that.
They had
They
a
probably
quote
have
unquote parliament.
the. They probably have this. They probably have this. They probably have like a central committee of the Communist Party or whatever, or it's the Workers' Party there, isn't it? But in reality, it's pretty much a rubber stamp. It's a bit like the USSR when they on paper had elections, but most places they already had one candidate.
The parliament in North Korea, everybody has a union card from the actors union, so it's not exactly legitimate.
Right. Two questions. Firstly, hey Sam.
Well, at least they're supporting labor's rights. That's the important thing.
apart from the fact that the last one, the last lunatic before the one made now, actually kidnapped actors from South Korea and abducted them to take them to North Korea to make films. That's
Fair
how
enough.
fucking insane it was.
If you ever watched North Korean state media, that is not at all surprising. That is a sad state of affairs.
Sandy says, I am the dictator of my own tiny universe, which is probably why I'm alone. Keeler says, I'm definitely not the dictator type. I'm the workhorse. I give the power away as quickly as I can. I've been there. Spooky says, I remember a time before Dave was a dictator. Dog says, I would answer it, but my engagement ring answer has already earned me a dead arm. I put value in my nuts.
Did I fly like David's penis?
Are you saying that?
What is that?
Wait, are you
Did you run
saying
out of
that
tape?
my penis detaches from my nuts as well?
It's a question of tape.
No.
I've
what are
you've
you
given this
talking
far more thought than me. Go on.
Maybe they fly around separately. They have.
Here, do this. Take a rubber band.
You make it
put
sound like it's bifurcated.
put it around your balls.
Bifurcated penis.
Dave, take
Well,
a
you make
rubber
it sound
band.
like it's got wings and it's just kind of getting along. That's not a good mental image.
Oh no, it'd have to keep the testes, wouldn't it? Because they'd have to.
If it
Sort
gets
of come
excited, it
up.
would just drop like a stone out of the sky.
Well, I'm in my head. I imagine that the balls were with the rockets. That you know.
Yeah, I don't imagine that they would.
I'm thinking more of a butterfly.
They'd function very well as wings.
No.
If
I
it
didn't say I was on board.
flattened them out and stretched them, they might.
Maybe you guys are just got to think a little bit more outside the box. Just think more scrotum flying squirrel.
I think Brian is thinking he's not
think of it
stoned
like-
enough for this conversation.
Like a cephalopod that propels itself through jet propulsion is what we're probably gonna have to go with.
Oh, so it goes the other way around. So it looks more like a dragonfly, and it just
Yeah.
peeks out the back. I
Wouldn't that
get
just
ya.
make it? Wouldn't that just make it inflate quickly? You have exploding cephalopods. Boom, boom. Don't scare them. It's like the fainting sheep.
You never played Legend of Zelda? They have the inflatable octopus.
Oh, I thought you were going to say they had an inflatable penis. in Legend
No.
of Zelda.
Not yet, anyway.
No, I don't remember that bit of Zelda.
That's so 30 seconds ago.
Jen, what were your words of wisdom?
Sorry?
We lost her. It's all right. We lost her. Jenny, I meant.
What?
What were your
Get
words
the
of
names
wisdom?
right.
What were your words of wisdom you were trying to get out?
Oh, they were salient. It's not worth it now.
Fair enough. Right, what was the question? Right, dictator.
Talking in my
good-
family's a competitive sport, so you got to get it in there.
That's what she said.
I don't you.
I was just throwing that out there as a bone, giving you guys a bone. Come on.
I'll take it. I'll take it.
I know you will.
That's what she said. Right,
She did. Oh, it's right here.
Said she fucking begged.
You down
Dictator.
on your knees, Jenny?
The batteries
Jen.
are dead in the vibrator again. What?
Just now.
no, you're not Jen.
Yeah, didn't you hear that buzzing?
I was wondering what that humming was. Here, I was thinking a computer fan was off.
That wasn't white noise, baby.
Let's try someone else. Brian.
Yes, I would be a dictator.
Would you be a
I
good
would,
dictator?
I would be the awesome dictator, though.
You don't think you'd turn evil?
No, I'd save the planet.
You'd say so. What? How would you?
Yeah, but some people would think that would be being evil.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably. That's true.
Would
Because
you
it's a
enforce mass
perspective thing, yeah.
sterilization to stop population growth?
Yeah, there's like a certain Thanos kind of quality to that goal. So to bring balance back to the planet, we're gonna have to get rid of a lot of humans.
But you don't have to do that by killing them. You could,
No,
you could do it
we-
with sterilization.
I figure about half of them.
You can just leave them. It's the end of the day. Just don't feed them. They'll sort
No,
themselves out quite quickly.
We incentivize moving to other planets and stuff. Yeah, that's the goal. That's the goal of my dictatorship, is to move about a third of the human population to another planet to
Are you going
colonize.
to send oxygen?
I think Jim Jones tried that.
Oxygen.
Yeah.
That's a hell of a cult you got going.
Yeah.
They don't need oxygen. It's heavy.
No, they drink this special Kool-Aid that makes it so they don't need oxygen anymore.
No!
You see, efficiency. You got to think ahead.
Imagine yourself starting a cult and it ending up being one of the greatest memes in all of time.
That's the legacy right there. And magic Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
Sam.
I wouldn't want to be a dictator. The unfortunate thing is I can see myself as one.
Would you be a good one? Or do you think you'd turn evil?
Well, I think the thing is that as a dictator, I would very quickly then go, okay, I'm going to delegate everything and basically turn it into a democracy by proxy, or I'd fuck it up.
Yeah, but you just get killed off. If you try to turn it into a democracy, you get killed off by someone else that wanted the job.
You get killed off.
Only if they're stronger than you.
The problem with dictatorships is you only remain dictator as long as the people who run the military are prepared to keep you there.
Yes.
Pretty much.
So you've got to keep them happy.
And of course, if you don't have a military, you're only there as long as the people are happy to keep you there.
Dog says Brainbug can move the people using Space Force, as it's good for fuck all else.
I can't wait for that whole fucking thing to be decommissioned.
Although it is
I don't think it will be.
I don't think it will be.
The problem is, I don't think it will be decommissioned.
It's a split book.
Show me the bureaucracy that has chosen willingly to put itself out of business.
The problem is, ultimately, you're going to need one. This is the problem. Ultimately, you're going to need a Space Force. Whether you fucking call it Space Force is irrelevant. You're going to need one. Because ultimately, but whether or not you need one now or in 150 years is the question.
I think The Simpsons said it best when they said...
Not just an American thing.
I was just going to say, I think The Simpsons said it best when they said, as the congregation ceremony to all the people who were graduating from West Point during that particular year. Many of you graduating today will not be fighting. The fighting will likely be done on top of tall mountains by giant robots. Your job as you go forward today will be to build and maintain those robots. Yeah. When you're talking about the breaking up Space Force, Air Force, I mean, there's no distinction between these fields anymore. You have a military and however they want to organize themselves.
You've lost. You're gonna have to go off camera again.
Go reboot your router or something.
I wonder if the future of space exploration has been taken out of the hands of government agencies altogether, because it seems like it's moving towards more of a private sector venture at this point.
Yeah, but it won't. I'm assuming that's going to be cyclic, like the East India Company.
Sure. Yeah,
I still think it'll come back to nations.
Yeah, as long as the nations remain largely capitalist anyway, because that's where the money's going to be once we.
Someone's the way China are going at the moment. Yeah, they are. The next 10 years, they're going to have people living on the moon full time.
Yeah,
I can't see America standing behind and stand. I don't see what America's going to do, because the only way is going to be.
We need to just ally ourselves, like what we did with Russia during even during the Cold War and stuff. We were still working side by side with them. Space the ISS, for instance.
No. You young people have missed a whole bunch of stuff that happened before you were born. We were on the edge of fucking nuclear elimination from the entire fucking planet, and it was that way for goddamn 45 fucking years. It was scary every damn day. And then towards the end, when Russia or Soviet Union was about to collapse, they started getting involved with us with space and shit. Before that, it was absolutely deadly. It was horrible.
1972 is when they signed the agreement concerning cooperation around space, around exploration of space for peaceful purposes.
That was yes, but that was an actual cooperation.
That was about not putting nukes in space, basically.
Yeah.
Well, it led to the in 1975 the Apollo Soyuz test project, didn't it?
Yeah. So. Yeah. But there was the Cold War was way overshadowed any of that. It was something like that would happen, and everybody, this means there's going to be world peace. Bullshit. No. a week later, there were more saber rattling and hiding under the desks in school.
Yeah, that's
It
where
was-
we
it
get so
was-
much of our propaganda from too, though, is that mentality there that you grew up with, and everybody that grew up with the before. If you went to school before like 1990, you grew up with this image, this Cold War image
I mean,
of
Jen, when
you
you grew up,
fight every day. Yeah,
when you grew up, who was going to nuke everyone?
We were going to nuke each other.
Because I was reading the diaries that have come out from the Russian leaders they were terrified of America.
Yeah, they were. Well, the few
Yeah.
was on
And,
both sides.
we were terrified of Russia.
There was legit. There was legit.
No, I mean,
fear.
I
Don't
missed
you
most.
remember, Dave? You're old enough to remember.
I missed most of the Cold War, but I did grow up in the 80s when it fucking got.
When did you
really
add the
heated up.
TARDIS, Dave?
What's TARDIS?
We're bordering on education here.
You're right. We need to
Yeah, we're
skip
bordering on education.
Right, we're talking about dictatorships. Never again. Who's hit the anti-educator? Right, well, Eden, to be a dictator with total power over country, typically you would have to obtain control by force. Yes, but not necessarily a lot of force.
Or get handed it by someone who did.
Yeah. Never again. It's a day to look up the nuclear testing map over the years. Is there any wonder we're still alive? Totally.
Is this our second question?
have you ever?
Yes.
Yeah.
You ever watched that nuclear test timetable where it shows the map where all the bombs went off over the years?
Yes.
It's insane how much. Yeah.
Right.
Anybody who moves to Nevada by choice is nuts. Nope.
Good property prices, especially if you want somewhere big land out in the desert. Jen, Jenny, did you answer?
No, I didn't. So I guess I would do the dictator thing, and try to destroy the truth that there's no such thing as a benevolent dictator. It's not possible any more than capitalism is sustainable. It's both are just not true. I'd be evil.
Oh no, I disagree though. There, I think you can have a benevolent dictator. I'm not convinced you can have a benevolent dictatorship.
No, I don't. No, no.
I think in order to have a benevolent dictator, you need to have said dictator not really be a dictator in practical terms.
They'd have to give up being a dictator fairly early.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't see myself being a dictator because I
There
wouldn't want
can't be
to.
that. There can't be that kind of power dynamic without some kind of threat. So, you can't be really benevolent if you're going to maintain absolute power like that.
I could totally see myself being the mad scientist that creates all the technology for the dictator.
You get killed off.
No, as long as I kept providing interesting things.
You need crazier hair, though.
I could do that.
Authoritarian governments always eat their own.
Yes.
Always. We saw it happen. We saw it happen just this last week on January 6th.
Yeah.
They did what the boss said, and the boss said, "Oh, see ya."
Yeah.
And he's like,
He did. Crafty says, benevolent and dictator doesn't belong in the same sentence. Dictators by nature use violence or force in order to keep their power. Right. Is a monarchy a dictatorship?
Yes.
An absolute monarchy, I would absolutely class as a dictatorship.
So does the Vatican use force to keep its power? Keep its...
Yes. Yes. It forces not just the threat of punishment in this world, but it's the threat of eternal punishment for disobeying the dictatorship.
How about...
Technically, though, hold on. Technically, though, if you elect the dictator, each dictator, isn't it technically a form of representative democracy?
No.
a representation.
It's a non-hereditary. It's a non-hereditary monarchy, which is really weird.
What are you doing?
Sounds like
Pardon?
a heart. Sounds like a heartbeat.
Sounds like a button being pushed on and off.
Does it?
You okay, Sam?
Historically,
Yeah,
the monarchy.
Fine. I've woken up not excessively long ago. I'm still in bed.
Okay. You're falling asleep and hitting your microphone.
Oh, no, you were on a stream till like 3 o'clock in the morning, though, Sam. To be fair, so
All right. So how about the British monarchy?
I don't. No,
It
I
used
don't
to be.
view that. I do not view that as a dictatorship as such. I fucking can't stand the British. The idea of a monarchy. They've had their power very much neutered here.
The British Empire was for sure, though.
Yeah.
The queen got her balls cut off.
Well, the quick.
Oh yeah,
And they
how
fly
even
around
in the past?
with yellow tapes.
Even yeah, I'd say yeah, because when it comes to obviously a lot of the colonies, the sort of should we say British values of freedom didn't exactly fucking apply. So
What British values of freedom? British, when they
That's
went around the world, instilled values of oppression.
yeah, well they talk about British ideals of liberty a lot throughout the 18th century or whatever, which is kind of where the Americans got the fucking idea from. But
Well, it is always relative, though. You know, the freedoms that Britain offered in the 1700s was better than the shit that was happening around them.
yeah.
So it was
Was
freedom,
it,
was
though?
liberty.
Then these indigenous populations, what I don't know how we should assume that they were better.
There was there was I mean the thing of it is there was freedom for a certain liberal for the time elite, and I am using the word liberal in a very in the context of the time. The
How many coins
enlightened
do you have
elite.
to put in the
One of-
jar now?
One of my favourite things is how at schools we're supposed to be taught in PSHE lessons what British values are.
Yeah, what the hell are British values?
Yeah.
It made me chuckle when they started talking about tolerance for everybody, because it was like, no, you mean modern British values, not British values. And even then,
You see, I'm not convinced they're modern British values.
no, I think they're modern reasonable person values that we like to say we have.
Unfortunately, I'm not convinced that's the majority of Britons. That's the problem.
Are you
Yeah,
talking,
I agree with you.
Are
Honestly,
you talking moralities or liberties?
Values, we're talking. Another meaningless word in the context of what we're talking about.
It is an absolutely fucking meaningless word.
That's why I was asking for a definition.
So
It's how we sell all this shit that we over and over again. We use words that don't mean anything that we can get people invested about.
Yeah, so here's a couple of examples. An understanding that the freedom to hold other faiths and beliefs is protected in law is apparently a British value that I was supposed to learn in school.
Even though the fact that our entire legal system is based upon the Queen,
Christianity.
Yeah.
and yeah,
And
Great.
Anglican being the guys on top.
I gotta say, definitely when British Empire was studied when I was at school, it was very much the whole, should we say, the civilizing mission. The bit about them strapping sepoys to cannons and blowing them up never got mentioned. You know.
right. Should we do the next question?
And as far as British religious freedom, let's remember that the Pilgrims came to America not to establish the freedom of religion, but to get away from were being kicked out of the country because of their insanity of religious.
They wanted freedom to persecute.
I'll figure out how to say that better, but
At the end of the day, our British values. At the end of the day, our British values of religious freedom were not acceptable to them, as it was then. The liberal British acceptance of religion at that point was too much. They wanted it to be their version of religion, of their version of Christianity, and they wanted to oppress people that didn't agree with it.
Yeah, it's still that way.
Thank you very much, Jeff, for your £2 education jar donation.
Chad, come back in here.
Well, so like what Jeff was talking about, that's and you kind of see that in a modern setting with like Japan. You don't see, I don't think that they're learning about the Nanking massacre in school in Japan.
Oh, they're not. It's a massive
school.
problem.
Yeah.
Japan's a massive problem at the moment because the current generation in Japan don't understand where the hatred has come from China and South Korea.
Right. And they were brutal
Yeah.
to
It's oddly enough, you got the same problem in the States though, in terms of the racism and thinking that the conservatives that think it didn't exist now. They're literally rewriting that it didn't exist.
No, America was always the heroes that came in and saved everybody. What are you talking about? We won every war for you guys. Don't you know that it was all America?
Yeah.
That's what we were taught. Yeah, that we didn't.
Yeah. So a couple of years ago, my little brother was in a school production that was basically the world wars represented as people. And after various countries, including like Britain and Poland, had kind of kicked Germany around a bit, America came in and just stood over the corpse proudly and posed.
Yeah, say our European front. I don't think we had much. We had support there, but I don't think we had too much impact. Not nearly as much as the British and of course the.
I think you might want to do a little bit more reading on D-Day.
Well, that was but there was years of war before that. I mean,
there was, but
there was a lot more fighting going on that we weren't. Our big impact was on the Pacific.
Yeah.
Okay.
And can I suggest something on people?
Europe was going to fall out of the Germans' hands, regardless. It was the same situations with the Russians. They blew their wad. They spent their money, and they were going to start starving.
Yeah.
Yes, they did. And
the other thing as well, I don't want to downplay with the Americans in terms of the Second World War was logistics.
You go talk to the people of Belgium how they feel about Americans in World War II, and you'll learn a little bit about history that isn't generally written.
Anyway, next. Oh, we're there. Who's got puppies? The chat wants to know.
Me. My dad just went outside for a smoke, and the dogs went nuts.
Yeah. What breed, apparently?
Border collies.
Aww.
Right. Next question.
Is Chad coming back?
I don't think so. I think.
Is that the question? Do we have
no question? 1,429.
Should we drag Crafty Keeler in then?
If Crafty wants to come in.
Crafty? Well, that's risky, Dave. Dumping it in the chat.
If Crafty doesn't turn up.
It's cold here.
Or I've never seen Crafty on camera, so if someone comes in and then turns their camera on, they're going pretty damn quick.
Oh, she's a major babe.
I'd be happy if Randy or
Steve. I know any of them. What if they stand up and expose themselves, Dave?
What did you say, Jeff?
You need to hear Crafty's voice for confirmation purposes.
Crafty's is the voice of the Capitol raid to me. That's following what she was saying on Dave's stream the other day. That was pretty awesome, actually.
If you enjoyed that, please hit the thumbs up button. If you didn't, hit the thumbs down. If you think you've got a better answer or just want to tell us how wrong we are, leave a comment down below. Subscribe down here for new questions every day and make sure you hit the bell so you don't miss out on our live shows. If you click over here, you'll see our latest upload. Over here, for what YouTube thinks you'll love the most. And finally, for a complete playlist of all our currently released questions, click here.